Well, hello there, and welcome to Crypto Posse. And we're going to do another talk about all things crypto with my friends Mike, Jeff, and Will. So, hey, what's up with this whole crypto summit thing?
The crypto summit is something that was put together. We're literally writing history in the moment. Prior to that, on Thursday, Trump signed an executive order for this Bitcoin reserve, and that was one of the main topics of this crypto summit. You know, he made some really, really good points about not just the Bitcoin reserve, but the crypto stockpile as well. And we can jump into it too, because there's some numbers that I would love to share in regards to the United States already has acquired about 197,000 Bitcoin that they currently already hold.
So, when you say United States acquired that, what is that? Who? What do you mean? Who? Where? When? Where?
That's the interesting part is they acquired it through law. They acquired it through confiscation. So it's not like they really put any money into it to buy the Bitcoin. They confiscate it, and that's how they
Who'd they rip it? They ripped it off?
essentially.
They ripped it off. The United States ripped it off.
Well, illegal trading, other circumstances.
Is that like a mining? You hear about mining. Were they mining?
I mean, this actually goes back to I don't know if any of you are familiar with the Silk Road story. Have you guys heard anything about that or know anything about that?
Yes, in 2013, about 170,000 Bitcoins were confiscated through the Silk Road.
Right.
Where's the Silk Road at?
Interesting.
Did that come out of Turkey back 1,000 years ago? What was that all about?
So Silk Road is a really well-known
Trade route.
documentary,
Yes.
and I won't go too deep into it, the specifics, but that's pretty much how they were to acquire a majority of their Bitcoin. And as Mike mentioned, this was all the way back in 2013.
Okay, so 12 years ago, they like ripped it off. Like I'm still stuck on the like they ripped it off. Like
So yeah, so this gentleman, Rich Ulbrich, I
is
think
he
is
in prison?
no, he was running a business on the dark web, and he started getting into some really obviously dark areas, some gray areas on how he was running that business. But regardless of what he was doing, yes, he ended up getting caught. The United States confiscated the Bitcoin that he pretty much was able to acquire through this business that he had set up. And then so he gets put in prison. And the crazy part is when he got sentenced for 2 full life federal prison terms
Two times of life.
at 2 life sentences. And well, I mean, and obviously, if the business was that big, he wasn't working alone, and everybody that had gotten caught below him didn't get anywhere close to that kind of sentence. And it's kind of cool that we're talking about this because it is relative to Trump being in office, because that was something that he had brought up before he got into office, that he was going to pardon him, and he actually did do that. So
Trump pardoned this dude.
yeah,
Okay.
I
So
mean,
now the guy's out of prison. He was in there for like over 10 years.
he was something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, jeez. I don't know if we want to learn from this guy or not learn from this guy, but it sounds like at one point he killed it. But I don't advocate mining or stealing or anything that's illegal. I totally believe in being have moral ethics in terms of how I conduct business. And I know you guys feel the same way. That's a big part of our bond, is that as humans we believe in treating others how you want to be treated, the golden rule vibe.
I got a question, Will. The Bitcoin that was taken that he acquired, was that from US dollar and him buying Bitcoin, or was he taking Bitcoin payment for the business?
I love that question. He acquired it through um, as receiving forms of payment, and that kind of brought that point up because now you're looking at all the way back in 2013. and everyone's saying, if you're investing into Bitcoin, you're investing into internet money that's fake, but this guy proved that it's borderless. So he's receiving payments throughout the whole entire world, so there is no border with Bitcoin. And that's the beautiful part about Bitcoin too. It's just a point is it's here. So like if I want to send any one of you guys Bitcoin and I want to do it on a Sunday when most banks are closed, I have that ability to do that. And that's the beautiful part.
So it's 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, no borders, and it's just, freewheeling currency.
Right.
No bank accounts necessary. Even if you're not tied to the financial system, you're able to acquire and distribute.
I know, but then how did you get your money in without a bank?
Wallet to wallet.
Everyone goes a little quiet for a second.
Well, and other assets too, because years ago, Will and I was a little short on my gas fee, and he sent me Ethereum in 2 seconds, and that's what he's talking about. It's anytime, any place.
Anytime, any place, and help friends out, pay their bill, whatever. Just yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, I think that's a large part of the attraction for the whole crypto thing, is that because it's a little bit of a renegade vibe, maybe. At least maybe that's where it started. I do believe they're going to continue trying to regulate and put everyone in a little box that they want us in, and they're probably, maybe is it true that the powers that be are want to kind of control this thing more and more and more? Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it is about control, but jumping into the value of Bitcoin, I've been able to come in contact physically, not just meeting people on the internet that have actually used their Bitcoin to fund projects in other countries, and that's the beautiful part too, is because some people get into investing into Bitcoin thinking, I'm going to take my US dollars, invest into Bitcoin. And as an example, investing into Bitcoin at say $20,000, fast forward to today where it's about 75,000, 80,000. People are like, I'm going to sell my Bitcoin and I want more US dollars. Why would you want to do that if the buying power of the dollar is going down based upon the printing of more dollars, when I can use my Bitcoin to acquire the same thing? And that's the beautiful part. Fast forward to today, the day that we live in, where I can use my Bitcoin and I can go buy properties. You got to find the right person to do this business with, but you can buy properties, houses, cars. I heard at one point you could even, on the higher end, you can buy a Ferrari, so it's not just, it has multiple use cases. And as you mentioned, Joseph, yeah, that's what they're trying to do right now. And you made a beautiful point, because that's why we're seeing these markets pull back. They're trying to acquire and take over and have that control. And the best way to do it is to scare people out of the markets.
Oh my God. Is it true that, isn't it like El Salvador that turned crypto into their actual national currency?
I think the president, $300 and something million was their initial Bitcoin, and I believe they paid around 38,000. And it was scary for a while because it dipped a little bit. Now, obviously, they're in a good position, and they have the Bitcoin beach, the surf beach there. Yeah.
So awesome. I mean, just when I first heard of that, I was going, wow, this world's just going all kinds of directions. And you could tell there's probably some powers that be somewhere, some dark controlling, whatever, who knows, European, I don't know, some European banker, some banker that's just like, that drives me crazy, but El Salvador being, let's say pretty much of a renegade country. I'm pretty sure the president has cleaned things up down there quite a bit from what I've heard. Cause we have friends that live down there, and as surfers, we have friends that have moved to live so many places in the world. It's such a neat kind of look inside of like different cultures and whatever. But when I heard that, I was like, wow. So they really embraced crypto, and that's a ballsy thing to do for a government. That what if it fell apart? But it didn't fall apart, but now it's worth more, so they're crushing it. But I've heard you could just go down there and buy a house with crypto in El Salvador and live on a point and with you and your palm trees and your rainbows. You know, they heard the gangs have they put all the gang guys, not probably all, but most of the gang guys are in prison. So do you guys know of any other countries that embrace it to that degree?
Not that degree, but Mexico is 10%. So you're only paying 10% opposed to 20 to 40 here, 18 I think to 36, depending how long you're holding it.
10% what? What are we talking about? Taxes.
Taxes. Yeah.
Oh, so if you bought it in Mexico or what? Oh, with pesos.
Well, if you say you have a ledger and you took your money from here and spent it on property in Mexico, it's 10% tax.
Wow. Oh, I see. If you buy the oh, okay, right.
Yeah.
Whereas here, that would be, what 30 to 40%.
It depends how long you hold it. A year. If you're holding it for, I thought it was 2 years, but I think it's a year. You hold it for a year, it's about 18 to 20%.
Okay, well, like twice as much as Mexico, but
if you're
with less vigilantes, no.
If you're day trading, it's more on the lines of 38% tax here, and I would think they would have to work on that.
Oh my God!
Because a lot of us, don't want to pay that much in tax, and they're going to start losing crypto to other countries.
Yeah.
If something doesn't bend a little bit, work out a little bit, lower the rate.
Gosh, that's high.
Or some sort of incentive.
Yeah, some sort of incentive. Yeah. I mean, so back to the crypto summit, we kind of took a left turn and I hitchhiked over to El Salvador and I'm trying to get back to the party over here to talk about the crypto summit. Let's get a little bit more into that. Just because it interests me when we talk about, in connection to that, like terms like digital Fort Knox and the Bitcoin reserve and the crypto stockpile, all these kind of things are just, I don't know much about it, but I think the general public probably doesn't either. So I don't know. I just think it'd be cool to talk a little bit more about that. And I know we got more topics to cover as we continue today, but let's talk a little bit more about the crypto summit.
I'd like to touch on something you brought up, the question that you asked, Joseph, about, other countries that are involved in acquiring this Bitcoin. Man, a long list, and I'll tell you. So starting with United Arab, they lead with about 30.39% Bitcoin. You've got Vietnam, United States, Philippines, Brazil.
What are we talking about? The taxes or the percent that they use
country
for how they invest or whatever?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to make a quick point to, it's not just one country doing this. The country we were just talking about, what was it?
United Air. Oh, El Salvador.
El Salvador. Thank you for reminding me. See, when your base currency isn't worth anything, they have the opportunity to use Bitcoin, because without it, things that you brought up, the country is it's in shambles. But because of the decision to invest into the Bitcoin, now that president is taking the profits from that and then reinvesting it into the country,
into building infrastructure to make the country more solid.
That was what I was looking for. Yeah, the infrastructure. And
yeah,
all countries are doing it. That's the point that I want to share, not just one.
To me, what feels interesting about that is that it just seems like, well, that's great if it's going great, but if Bitcoin fell apart, it would tank whole countries like that. It just seems a little like quicksand to me, or sand in your, like sand in the hourglass. Like I don't know, but I like the idea when it's going good, people are flourishing. But if it goes, I don't know what that would do. I'm proud of his confidence and ballsiness in a way, or whoever we're talking about that run these countries, to be able to actually do something like that feels extremely, you know, risky. But hey, look, so far it's worked out, right?
Right. Yeah. You got to really look at, again, when you're investing into something, the risk versus the reward. Might sound very risky, but look at the reward and the what you had just mentioned. It's now they have the ability to put it back into the infrastructure of that country, making it better living. And that's what the United States is doing. And that's a good segue to jump into the summit, where now, fast forward, during that day, last Friday, Trump was dropping, some gems in my view and how I perceive and listen, which is he was talking about creating a digital Fort Knox for digital gold, right? That you've got Coinbase, which, and this is just my opinion, but like an equation, it's kind of like, okay, so you got digital Fort Knox for digital gold, but then you have this other company name, Coinbase, and Coinbase is located in the United States. And when I hear that, I break it down into Coinbase. So obviously the United States, or again, in my opinion, is the nucleus to this whole crypto sphere.
Okay, so we're at the center of the crypto universe.
Yes.
It's so classic as Americans, we're so, it's amazing what we are in the world. A lot of us wish, or I don't know what the percentage is, but wish we would kind of back off on that. And then there's a bunch of people that probably feel like without our lead, who knows where things would turn out, because we're kind of considered as pretty good guys. At least, that's the sales pitch. But I mean, it's always interesting to me, our aggressive business mannerisms. And now with Donald Trump on his second term, he is certainly out there being aggressive in the world. And it'll be interesting to see where things go, not just with crypto. I mean, with the whole thing.
I was going to just touch on real quick. What you're saying is Trump's actually putting pen to paper and letting that ink dry, right? He's not just talking, saying, I'm going to do all this stuff. He's actually doing it.
Well, with like executive orders and all that. Yeah.
Prior
Because I think that he feels like if we go through the traditional processes, this is the basic argument on that. Tell me if I'm wrong. We go through the traditional processes of, the Congress, the Senate, the House, and it's, and they talk it up, nothing will get done. And they'll make it look like he didn't get anything done because, they didn't let anything get done. So he comes in and says, hey, that's all cute and all, but we're just going to push it through executive orders. Blah. But the other side of that is a lot of people feel like, isn't that kind of moving toward a dictatorship style, in a sense where you're not really working through the legislative branches to be able to, pass laws. So I don't know. There's a little bit of give and take on that one, but I like that he's pushing hard to get things done. I do.
My point is this: is the last president and the last team that we had in office, look at what they were doing.
Or not doing.
What they were doing was they were putting all these regulations and laws in place all the way down to the SEC and all these lawsuits. Look at what they were doing. They were holding back the innovation of this crypto. What's a good word to use? Like crypto environment.
Okay.
So you have a group of people holding back innovation, and then you have Trump. And why he needed to do the executive orders, because instead of going down that whole political path, and all the time wasted for all these guys to talk behind cameras and whatnot, like I mentioned, he's putting pen to paper and he's getting it done.
Yep. He's definitely getting stuff done. It's just to be interesting to see how it fleshes out, because I think if it fleshes out the way that, he and his team want, then it'll be proof is in the pudding, and it'll be kind of like, how do you like me now, America?
Well, not just that, but what he's creating now is he's creating innovation. And he said that he wanted to make the United States the crypto capital of the world, crypto and AI capital of the world, which is interesting because those are the two topics that we are here to discuss today.
Yes, it is. We have landed on the subject matter of today, which, speaking of AI, Let's dive into the whole AI universe. What do you guys think about AI as it relates to crypto?
It's a very broad topic to touch on. Do you want me to start talking about that, or would you like to finish up the crypto summit? Because there's a lot of things that you know happened that day, and something that I did recognize is you've got 30 people or 30 plus people in one room, right? And I think the market cap of the whole crypto space right now is right around like 3 trillion. Don't quote me on that number because I'm just going off of memory. But in that room, you've got about $1.5 trillion being represented in one space all at the same time. So yeah, they are going to regulate it. And I think regulation is good because I don't know if you've heard this term before, and I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on what I call shit coins or
shit coins.
And what a shit coin or meme coin is to me, it's a coin that really doesn't have any value. It's something that a developer made specifically to make money on, and that's
like, give me an example of.
No utility.
That's a name of a shit coin?
No, just utility of a coin. Well, maybe next week, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's going to come out.
You just said some gold.
Yeah, utility of the coin. The basis behind it, what it
does, what it performs, what service it provides,
yes.
Right? So a shit coin is something that really provides no service. Is that kind of where we're going with that?
Those are just basically like community-based coins, that have like meme coins. They have some sort of following, but they don't have any real world use.
Okay.
Like fart coin, for instance, or SPX 6900. Some of these coins that don't really do anything. They just kind of pump and dump coins that people pump them, then they dump them, and
so that's kind of,
they did really well because a lot of the retailers put the money into them. Then you do have a lot of these other people that highly invested in them, but look at the decline today where they're at. They're down big time.
So give me a couple of shit and fart coins.
There's one called Unicorn Fart Dust. And honestly, Fartcoin did extremely well. I haven't looked at what it's gone down. I'm sure it has.
Over what period of time did farts come and
the last 6
left
months.
the room? Like, when did the stink leave? Oh, within 6 months, a fart coin, came, blew up its little cheese maker, and then came back on the backside and was gone. 6 months, you could have made some money if you were able to deal with the stench.
Yes, but it's still around. I mean, all these meme coins and AI agents are down. Some of them are AI agents and a meme coin. So that's what Will was saying. It gets a little complex.
Yeah, that's the general vibe about crypto, I believe, and to the general public and most people that aren't full wizards about it, is that it's a whole universe of complexity, and which I think is, kind of back to the reason I really want to do the show with you guys, is because I feel like so many people are just kind of going, whoa. And so the more we can chat up about different topics, it'd be just cool for all the laymen out there, which I am one of, who just kind of don't understand it much, but would love to understand more. On the flip side of, say, a shit or a fart coin, coins that have purpose. Like, give me one or two, like Jeff, like what would be something along the lines of a good coin that's a solid coin that has great purpose, and what would that purpose be?
Well, I mean, there's a handful, and they go in specific times. Like, obviously, you've got Bitcoin, right? The gold. Ethereum. Ethereum is used for so many coins for gas fees. XRP is basically a digital. It's like banking, a transfer of money, really quick and simple utility.
Oh, so XRP kind of is almost like a crypto banker.
It would take the place of like a wire transfer.
Cool. So the service they provide is transferring cryptocurrency?
Very, very, very simple.
Okay.
There's categories, and then now it's so vast. There's categories mixed in with other categories. So like if you're looking for a coin, I typically go into a category, and then now you see them on a few different ones because like a AI and a meme coin together. It's very complex now.
What
There's
is
so
one
many
of the
coins.
most profound uses, for people's daily lives that some currency company, has a coin that does something that would help people that are outside the crypto universe in their everyday life? Is there anything like that?
Well, I mean, it's probably going to be it's Bitcoin, but
And Bitcoin again does what? What service does Bitcoin provide?
it's
Besides
an
making a
it's
bunch
the
of people rich? No.
it's the top. It's just the top asset that is, basically the gold of all the crypto.
Okay, so it's kind of the gold of crypto.
The
It's the
standard, the basic
standard.
standard. Yes.
It's a store of value, and it's a hedge against inflation because
Hmm.
it can't be dominated by any government or controlled by any entity, or it's singular in that respect. So that's why you have people that say it's a digital gold, it's the ultimate store of value, and believe that the value is going to go up because it can't be inflated or manipulated.
I like that. That sounds like, it almost sounds like you're getting ready to do some lyrics, not inflated, not manipulated. Okay. The thing is what about like this fear that I think a lot of average humans just out there don't know a lot about it, feel like they could really put their money. I mean, one of the big raps against the whole crypto thing, I believe, is some people feel like it's such an illusion. We have friends that kind of mention this to us, like, oh, be careful, man. That shit could just go poof and you don't own anything. You don't have anything. It's just a big illusion, right? What about that? Is that remotely possible?
There's some things that you could do to mitigate that risk. And it's something good to bring up as far as security. So we were mentioning about banks and crypto and like kind of how all this pieces itself together.
Yeah.
You have your bank account, right? And that's how I call it on and off ramp, right? On and off ramp means like I'm going to put my money in the bank. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to send it to an exchange like Coinbase. And then on Coinbase, you could buy these cryptocurrencies that we're mentioning today. And again, this isn't financial advice. This is us just, explaining to an audience of people that may or may not know what this crypto space is even about. So now that you have your money on this exchange, and this is where security comes in, is you buy your Bitcoin, but you don't leave your Bitcoin on the exchange. You put it in what we call like a hot wallet
Okay.
or cold storage, and I'll break those down.
A hot wallet or cold storage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you don't want to keep your crypto on an exchange. And a perfect example is the FTX collapse. It was an exchange. You keep your money on the exchange, just like a business. What happens if that business goes under and it goes to zero, like we're talking about? Well, if you keep your money on the exchange, there goes your money. But in my opinion, or what I do, is I buy the crypto from the exchange. I send it to my hot wallet, which a hot wallet is just a wallet that you keep on your computer that's not connected to the internet, so you can't get hacked. Or even better, you put it into a cold storage, which is basically like a USB flash drive.
Okay. Ah.
Multiple layers of security. And once I take my Bitcoin off that exchange into my cold storage wallet, now it's mine. Because there's a saying that in crypto, not your keys, not your crypto. So if you don't have it in your possession and something happens, God forbid, well, there goes your crypto.
Damn. Yeah, that's a big fear, I think, of a lot of people. And that even what you just explained, I think, is pretty tech for the average person to understand. So they might pull back and go, hey, man, I know still feel that way in a lot of ways. Like, well, hey, whoa, I'm not really the tech doctor, and this stuff just blows my mind. It's why I originally always wanted to talk to you guys, because you guys know a lot more about it than me, and it just seems real interesting. I really do bring in the full retard. I am crypto retard. Okay, so it allows me to just kind of rap with you guys and learn more about anything to do with that. But there's still that feeling of like highly tech to get it. Oh, you got to get it over here to get it out. Like, you know what I always want? I ask everyone if they've got stocks or crypto or whatever. Yeah, I made so much money. I killed it this week. I'm like, no worries. Do you have the money? Did you sell it? Are you possessing the money? And a lot of times it's like, I'm like, no. I mean, because you didn't really make the money if you didn't make the money.
Well, yeah, yes, and I agree with what you're saying. But if you don't have it in your possession, then you can't really spend it. But here's the thing. If you don't tune in to a channel like this and you start to educate yourself, guess what's going to happen? Banks already have clearance to hold crypto today. What would you guys rather do? Would you rather have control of your finances, or would you rather be in the same system you are today? Which means...
Oh, yeah. I thought the whole point of crypto was that you were outside the banking program so you could have independence.
Yes. But what happens today? You go down and you put your money in the bank, and then the bank loans your money out 10 different ways, and they're making money on your money. But then it's your money. And then what? You get this small percentage. Hey, if that works for you, keep on doing it.
Yeah, keep on trucking, mister.
But it's going to happen with crypto. So you either learn how to do this on your own and tune in, comment below, ask questions, or you're going to be forced into a system the foundation is being laid through the crypto summit, through these regulations. So it's happening regardless of somebody's opinion of, I don't believe in that internet money, and it's going to go to zero. Well, no disrespect, but that's just uneducation talking. Because if that was the case, then why are all these countries investing into it? Ask that question first, right? And then if you don't learn how to hold your crypto, it's the same thing as saying, okay, you're going to go buy a house. What, you're going to give me the keys to your house? But I got the keys. How are you going to get in?
Yeah. Interesting.
I'm throwing ragers at your house, and you can't control that. And that's the whole point, is you now have control, because, again,
by like putting it on like a USB drive or something, and then you have that, you just have that, like you have this physical USB drive.
Yes, and I'll say this too, because it's very, very, very important. Okay, and I'm not a sponsor of any of these. I'm not a sponsor of Coinbase yet. We're not sponsors of Ledger yet, right? But Ledger is a company that you can buy these USB flashes from, but never buy it from a friend. Don't buy it from any of these tech companies like Best Buy. Don't buy it from Amazon. Buy it specifically from ledger.com, because if you don't, the thing is it comes with like a 24-word security, right? So and that's the keys. So if you don't have those keys, then you don't own the crypto again. And the beautiful part about that is, so let's just say I don't know what I'm talking about, and I buy this ledger from Amazon, and I get it, and I transfer, $1,000 to it. Well, because I didn't buy it, who goes to say that somebody didn't pre-purchase that, take the keys from that USB, and now they hold the keys, and you don't know that. And then you put your $1,000 into it, and then somebody takes that, and you're like, oh, where'd my $1,000 go? Well, again, that's why I'm sharing this. Don't buy it from these third-party companies. Buy it direct.
Don't buy what from them again?
Don't buy this Ledger USB.
Okay. I see a USB Ledger, and you buy that from Ledger, a ledger.com company?
My point is just get it direct.
Get it direct. Okay.
Remember a few years ago, that's what I did, because as Will was saying, if you just have a little bit of money and you're on Coinbase and you're day trading, to me that's okay. But bigger amounts of money, you at least want to get hot wallet, like MetaMask, Exodus, and then you would go from that wallet to whatever exchange to whatever asset you want to buy. But even safer would be the ledger, and that's what I got the ledger too. Ordered it from ledger.com as well.
Okay, is that a physical like thing you can touch?
Yes, it's just like you said. It's like a little disc, Bluetooth.
It's a US. Okay, so it
Yeah,
comes in the mail and it's a physical thing, and then you load your stuff onto it, and your crypto's sitting there in this thing, and you could like get on a plane and go anywhere, and there it is with you, right?
Absolutely.
So you could like take X amount of money out of the country where you can't even leave the country with, what is it, 9,900 or something like that, right? Under 10 grand, but you could have that little USB ledger thing on you and have millions.
Absolutely. Take it anywhere and use it just as you would.
You could spend that all over the world.
Yeah.
You can.
I like where this is going.
And Joseph, you actually brought a really, really good point. And I wasn't thinking about that, which is, yeah, you're going to say it is millions of dollars. Yeah, you can literally jump on a plane, go to another country, and you can take money with you. And this is another kind of like safety that I want to touch on, which is once you have your words, store it old school, right? Just write it up, pen and piece of paper, make multiple copies.
Sure.
Because if you just say, you could save it digitally to your phone, right?
Yeah.
Well, what happens when your phone gets hacked, right?
Yeah. You want to have it write it down on a piece of paper, put it in multiple spots in different ways. I think we've all heard horror stories about somehow someone made a bunch of money, but they lost whatever their passcode and whatever. And then, I think a few years ago I even did that. And then I think recently I just figured out how to maybe tap into it. I think I bought like a few $100s worth of Litecoin and then forgot about it. And then like the pandemic hit and just the whole world went upside down, me included. And then, all of a sudden years later, I'm like, I think I bought something, trying to look for it. It was like almost a joke, but I think I might be able to get it back. But I think there's a lot of stories like that. So I think the whole idea to get balls out and go, risk and do the whole crypto investment thing. But at one point, it's definitely about being smart about how to extract it and have it. And I think if that was a little bit more liquid in terms of less complex, I think millions more people would feel a little less reticent and get into playing with it. But I feel like at least like when you go to the horse track, there's a few variables. We talked about it last week, right? But there's a few more variables, but you just go, yeah, put $50 on this horse and whatever. But it just seems a little complex, I think, to the average person. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, I agree. It is really complex. And I've been very fortunate to surround myself with the right people to teach me these things, right? Like we've been talking about, I'm self-taught. There's no manual when you're born on how to walk. You just do it.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool. That's a great comparison.
And I'll openly admit, I've made tons and tons and tons of mistakes. And that's what I feel like my purpose is, just sharing with you guys, is I'm really hoping that people don't make mistakes, because I've invested into these shit coins that really don't have a lot of value. And one of them was like a crowd fund type thing where it ended up being like a complete scam, a rug, right? And this is where you do your research, right? You just hop on the internet, you find the CEO of that or the creator of that coin, and you just do a little bit of research, because what if I'm going to make an investment into the specific coin, right? And I do a little bit of research and I find out that the creator of that coin is a known scammer. Are you investing into something like that?
Probably not.
Are you going to do the research to prevent that from being a possibility?
That brings up a thought. Like, what would a cool like piece of a segment inside an episode would be? Maybe like top 10 worst shit coins or something. That'd be kind of cool to put that out there. Like, just, I don't know. And then we could even say, what are the top 10 crypto coins of all time, which obviously is, I don't think there's any argument that Bitcoin's the number one, but top 5, like I have a top 5 and then top 10 favorite movies of all time kind of thing. I mean, a whole different topic, but imagine that. It'd be kind of a cool little subtopic at some point we could play with.
It is. And I'm sure Jeff and Mike, have you guys, so in my experience in this crypto space, I've been in this crypto space since the beginning of 2018.
Okay.
Number one, I guess, shitcoin that we could bring up is Dogecoin.
You guys agree with that?
Yeah, because where it is now, what it started out as and what it became was kind of accident. It just happened.
Okay.
Timing, probably who's behind it.
So Doge is the number one shitcoin. So
well,
I'm just saying, do we all agree with that? Mike, what do you think?
Well, it depends on, if you were in it early, there's probably a lot of people that argue that fact and say that they made a ton of money on it. But, like Jeff said, where we're at now, it's definitely, a bottom feeder, and it's been doing nothing but, dropping, falling with the rest of the market. To be fair, I mean, we're in a downward trend. Even, Bitcoin just touched 76.55 yesterday. And it's already back up to 81. So, we're definitely in a downward trend, and Dogecoin is, way down.
Way down there?
Yeah.
Okay. So, the thing is about all those kind of coins, the value comes in there. Usually, I think, pretty inexpensive, right? Initially.
It's based on speculation, and the technical term for it is a meme coin.
Okay, the meme coins, yeah.
I know them as, shit coins with little to no value. For the sake of the audience, they're going to be like, oh, what's this guy talking about? Shit coins, involved in no shit pile.
Well, meme has probably been much more heard of than, we're just having fun here with the shitcoin. Is shitcoin actually a term, or are we just kind of getting stinky here today? Yeah. Really? Okay, yeah. And then fart coin, shit coin, meme coins. I mean, the whole thing's kind of degrading, but hey, if it makes it cashish, bring it. But then again, it might not, because it could go shoosh. It's very volatile, right?
Typically the most.
It's the most volatile. The meme coins are typically the most volatile in the space of cryptocurrency. Is that what we're kind of playing with here today? Oh, cool. Okay. Do you guys want to switch over and kind of touch on this, switch over to AI, just because I think AI is a pretty big category.
I mean, it's a very general, broad topic, but going back to things that Trump has said is making the United States not just the crypto capital, but the AI capital of the world. And where AI kind of fits into this, there's a lot of working pieces to AI. It comes down to the developer and how they're going to use the AI. You've got Elon Musk with Grok. He's got his own AI that he uses on X.
Okay.
And X is where people tweet. It's called Twitter, but he acquired it. And so AI is being used for that. You've got AI agents, which the way that it was explained to me and the way that I heard it was, you got AI like ChatGPT, right? And ChatGPT, like that general AI, you can ask it any question and you're going to get your feedback. AI agent is an AI that's specifically given one task and one task only. And it's kind of interesting that Doge, Department of Governmental Efficiency, which was, and Elon's running this, and Elon's actually tied to the meme coin Doge that was created literally as like a joke. Like, I'm going to create this coin, but then what really gives a coin value? It's us, just like the dollar. We're the ones that are really in control. So we give this meme coin value, Doge. And what Doge is to me is it's an AI agent. It's an AI that was designed to go into the government and start really extracting, well, where's this money going? because I've seen, and I'm sure you guys have too, these interviews in the White House with past administrations. That was the word I was thinking of.
Administrations?
Yeah, the past administration, and what they're doing with it, and how they're either holding it back or allowing us to use it. But now that Doge is in place, I'm watching these interviews growing up, and these guys are being asked, and I don't know the exact name, but just as referencing, they're being asked, well, where did $2 trillion of the American taxpayer money, where'd that go? And this dude says, I don't know. You don't know where $1 trillion went? Well, with Doge is going in there and being like, well, I know where that money went. And now it's starting to extract all the corruption and all the things that are happening behind the curtain. Multiple use cases. I use AI because AI to me is data collection, right? Collect a big, huge, massive information and then just spit it out to me in layman's terms so I can understand what a lot of information means. And then it's really cool because I'm working on a positive relationship with AI because, again, you can use it in many different facets. But I'm using it to help data collect cryptocurrency information and spit it out to me so that I can really see what's happening behind the scenes. So that's the beauty of AI.
Okay.
But I mean, in your experience, Jeff, Mike, do you guys see any of these things that I'm seeing?
You hit it perfect. The AI agents I kind of really got into. I still have AxeFit. Everything else I did sell off, but you said it perfectly because those were the smaller little AI agents, and they perform basically one task and of information. And to me, they were labeled kind of as meme coins. I don't really see that because I see the AI aspect of it. And I thought they're actually kind of cool because you're getting information on whatever task you're looking for. And they're newer coins, so we'll see, with the dip they have or severe dip, where we go from here. But yeah, I think everything I was going to say, you said it, pretty spot on. And like the bigger AI coins would be like Near Protocol, Render, uh, other coins like that. Those are the bigger market cap coins that I think will soon start going up here.
Mike, what do you think about AI? Any input on that subject?
You know what? I'm not an AI guy. I'm really not.
That's cool because the more we talk about it, the more maybe you might.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely sounds like there's some benefits. I mean, like Will's using it to kind of try to find a bottom on some certain stocks. I mean, some certain cryptocurrencies he's into, and there's definitely benefits, and I want to learn more about it. But as of right now, I'm just not an AI guy, so I don't really have a comment on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty reasonably new space. I mean, the whole AI revolution is, upon us. We heard about it coming and all of a sudden it arrived and it seems like it's affecting everything, movie making, just almost everything I can think of on some level. Speaking of ChatGPT, for instance, like we were working on a screenplay and at certain points when we felt like, I don't know, like brain lock or, freeze-dried noodles, we tapped into ChatGPT just to be able to kind of get a moment of inspiration or just like you're brainstorming, like instead of brainstorming at a table with another human or half human, we got like, you would just throw it out there and then we never use what it said, but it would just spark kind of in a moment. We go, oh, okay. So, I saw the value on that level, but from what I understand, it's applicable to everything. But in terms of with crypto, specific tasks that it could, provide seems at least worthy of interest. I mean, you guys talked about, say, with Will doing the thing of trying to see it to use AI to help us find where a bottom in some sort of cryptocurrency might be. That seems like a pretty valid tool if someone could actually really nail that down. Does that seem relevant to now? Well,
It is because while listening to you, what came to me, kind of like you live by the sword or you die by the sword, right? You can use it for good, or you can use it for defense, or you can use it to attack. And AI, in my opinion, it's been around for decades. AI has been, have you guys ever been in a conversation with a friend and your cell phone's around you and you guys are talking, and then your cell phone has AI and it's listening to you, and then you leave that conversation and you pop on the internet, and now all these ads are coming up with the conversation?
everyone I know talks about it. They feel so weird about like how all of a sudden you're talking about something. Now they're trying to sell you something connected to that. Everyone I know feels like a Big Brother vibe out of that. Like it's weird.
Exactly. But then you, like me, I could use it. And as I stated, I am using it and having a healthy relationship, right? I'm not here to control anybody with it. I'm using AI to make my life easier, right? What if you used an AI to make your life easier, and it's like you had a robot, um, like secretary, or like, hey, I need you to record this, or hey, AI, and you spout out something and it just like makes a mental note for you. I mean, the technology is here. Now, I wanted to make this point too because it's very relevant. So if you look up the debt clock, right? Anybody can go on the internet and look this up. There's a new spot on there and it's called the Doge clock, right? And what it's saying currently right now is with Doge implemented, doing what it's doing, which is uncovering a lot of this, I don't know where your plant BS. Well, now they're finding out where the money's going. And I get that the public is going to hear stories like this business is shut down and that business was shut down. Well, that business was receiving tens of millions of dollars and there's no desks on the inside of that building. It's just like a right. But then what the Doge clock is proving is that it's currently saving taxpayers individually $1,682. And so far to date, since it's been active, we're in like it's saved about $188 billion, about to go to $189 billion of our money, our taxpayer money. And this is an interesting point. The United States is one, if not the only country that taxes the people and then gives that money to other countries.
I know. Well, I shouldn't be laughing, but it just seems so bizarre to me how much we do that. Like that's what they're doing now. They're getting in there trying to clear out the cobwebs and just go, well, you guys spent what on what? This is, it's pretty crazy how that is. I totally agree.
I had one question about AI.
Bring it on, mister.
Is there any fear that AI will get so advanced that it may crack the code on like Bitcoin or be able to extract everybody's Bitcoin?
That's a really good point. There's a theory out there that they say this guy Satoshi Nakamoto was the creator of Bitcoin, but let's just be real. Not one guy can create or code something like this. So there's definitely a team behind it. I think that team is somewhere within our borders, to say it and not hey, this is to single anybody out, right? So if that is the case, I don't think that they would want to crack that code, because then, like we were bringing or what you were saying earlier, Joseph, you break the code of Bitcoin and obviously it can go to zero. But the thing is AI would have to crack many, many codes. And what makes Bitcoin so secure is it's a whole broad network of computers. So you would have to literally hack a bunch of different computers around the whole entire globe for that to happen. And I don't think that that's something that they're really wanting to do. And even today, it hasn't yet. It hasn't cracked the code. Nobody's been able to crack this code. And that's where the kind of the conspiracy comes into play of, did the NSA possibly create Bitcoin? Right? They kind of feel that goes full circle into the whole Silk Road story. Because then you create a currency and you're like, oh, this currency can't be tracked. Well, then those people are using it on the dark web, but the blockchain is tracking everything. So that's how he got caught. Built this business, used Bitcoin, tell them it's not traceable, and then all of a sudden they're able to backtrack almost every transaction to this person or to this wallet, to this ID. So that's just my opinion.
Wow.
And I call it a conspiracy theory. I'm not here saying that it is or it's not. I'm just looking at it like a puzzle, right? I'm pulling this piece here and that pulling a piece there. And now I've got all these pieces on the table and I'm just trying to kind of put it together. But at the same time, you made a very valid point earlier. We can talk about all this stuff all we want. But if you're not profiting, you're not growing as a person throughout the process, then what's the point?
Yeah. I mean, it's just, in order to do that, you try to take in as much as you can and see if you can navigate your own journey. And that's what I think is cool about this is, anyone who gets involved in cryptocurrency, obviously is connecting to their own goals and journeys and styles and attitudes about life. And I don't know that there's definitely not just one, there's a million different ways to approach it and to what you want to do with it. But that's what I think is cool about what we're doing, is just kind of having fun talking about all things crypto. And looks to me like it's probably time we got to go, get outdoors and get back out there and live some life. So just want to say to you gentlemen, thanks again for showing up to another episode of Crypto Posse, and a lot of deep stuff, endless stuff we can talk about. I can't wait to do it, and we will we'll see you guys next week.